welcome to What's the Story? My name is Joe Painter here on thepeoplechronicles.com, and it is always good to share your company and particularly the company of our guest this afternoon. Linda Kennedy Hassel is with us, so is Debbie Andrews, and these two women have, they found a common bond through a chance meeting, I think you could say, and both have suffered the loss of a child or their children. And you're finding your way to a new normal. To recap briefly, Linda, you lost your daughter while working with hospice. So it gave you an experience of trying on somebody else's shoes, and specifically those who you might have been counseling. And Debbie, you struggled for way too long, nearly 3 decades.
Yes.
Trying to find a way out of the pain of losing your children in a fire.
Right.
And then you two met in counseling. You knew there was a common bond. What did you do with that bond?
It grew. It was like a flower. Like, it just kept. I listened to what Linda shared and what Linda had to say. Some of it made sense. Some of it made me angry. Some of it I could care less. Some of it I thought she was loony. But I always went back to her. I never lost faith.
Are all those emotions that she just shared normal?
Absolutely, absolutely. When clients come to me, I can see them sometimes look at me like, oh, goodness, I'm not so sure, about that. And, I reassure them, that what they're experiencing is normal. Oftentimes they're very angry. They're angry at the people around them. They're angry at their spouse. They're angry at their children. Oftentimes they're overly protective of people around them. They have all kinds of emotions, and the other people around them are really having a very difficult time understanding their new normal. And they're very quick to say, who are you? Or, I want the old Debbie back. Or I have another client who started with me many, many years ago and has now since become discharged and has since become part of actually one of the co-founders. Her name is Tara Castro, and her son was murdered 10 years ago. And I remember one time her boss had said to her, I want the old Tara back. And she became incensed and said, you'll never have the old Tara back. That person is gone. And
is that normal too?
That's very normal. That's very normal, because you cannot go through such a trauma and be that same person.
Okay, so you are a licensed social practitioner, clinician, and you are finding some relief, some sense of normal meeting with you. How did Shield of Angels come about?
Well, I actually see a number of clients through Pennsylvania Coalition for Crime and Delinquency. Mm-hmm. As we know, there are quite a few murders here in Berks County, and consequently, there are parents of those children who were murdered, and many of those individuals happen to be clients of mine. And we talked about, getting these women together, because they all felt as though, just as Deb, there really isn't anybody out there that really understands what we're going through.
So separate from a clinical practice, it's the common bond.
The common bond.
Is it to participate with Shield of Angels or to reach out to any of the women who are involved with Shield of Angels? Is there a cost to that for other women who are suffering this pain?
No, there's no cost at all. And we meet one Sunday a month. And the location is really not disclosed for a couple of reasons. It's private, but you can call either Deb or Tara, and we meet at 6 o'clock on a Sunday evening. And generally we have a theme that we talk about. Like, for example, last the last meeting, we talked about how has the death of your child changed who you are. And
Can you cover that in an hour?
we tried. We tried. And it was very interesting to get that feedback, from the individuals. And it was very interesting, too, to see where women were in their walk and women who were maybe just a year into the loss of their child versus someone who was 5 years, or, for example, Tara, 10 years, versus Deb, 30 years, and at different stages of that grieving process.
A couple of things are coming to mind because I'm hearing consistently where women are in the walk. So is Shield of Angels specifically for mothers?
Right now, it is for mothers because men and women tend to grieve differently. Women tend to be more open with grieving. If you think about it, women, when they get together, women just generally get together over coffee. They want to talk.
They want to talk.
They
Men don't want to talk.
Men tend to get together over a basketball game.
Yes.
Or over a
yes.
football game.
So true.
And, someone once said that what you bring forth will heal you. What you keep within you will destroy you. And my hope is that more and more men would begin to learn the importance of talking, of bringing that pain forward, because it's so much like a wound that needs to heal. And just like with a wound, if you keep putting a Band-Aid on an infected wound, it's just going to get more and more infected. If it's on your leg, it may get more and more infected till what happens?
Right.
The leg is amputated. Or many people turn to drugs. They turn to sex. They
So they're
turn to
medicating the
gambling.
pain
They medicate
with
the
something
pain.
else.
Yes.
Is there a number? You said there are 2 numbers or 2 women that you could call. Is there a number you'd like to share here? If anybody wants to reach out, is that okay? Or is there a website that we could invite our listeners and viewers to share?
What they do is they, like Linda said, they call Tara or myself. And what we do is we talk to the mother on the phone and ask them certain questions. And the reason for that is because when you're in one stage of grief, you're really not ready for
A group?
a group. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we'll refer them back to Linda, and then Linda makes the decision on where that person really should be in their life, because she's really the one that's a professional. Mm-hmm. My background is drug and alcohol and child abuse and women abuse. So what we all do is it all plays in together, basically. And I hear a lot of that. So you hear somebody will call and say, I lost my child, and how long has it been? Have you been to therapy? What are you feeling now? So that once you start talking to the people or the mom, things start falling into place for you. The beauty of the group is the healing.
So it's an individual process,
Everything is
and
really
it's nice that that
individual.
individual is taken care of first.
Yes.
Before there's the connection with the group. Does that alleviate some of the nervousness or discomfort with just never having talked about it and walking into a group?
And the moms will call. They'll call, like myself and Tara, if what we call stuck, if they're stuck on something.
Can we share a number to call?
Sure. You know Tara's phone number off by heart, do you?
No.
Oh.
We wanted
Do you
to give
have,
yours.
my phone number is area code
Okay.
610-698-6414.
610-698-6414. And that is just for a grieving mother.
Yes.
Yes.
Or maybe to share with a mother who might be grieving. Your work is incredibly powerful to be able to reach out. And when you talk about the different stages that different women are in, whether it's a year, 5 years, 10 or 30 years, it gives me the impression that it's it's forever a lifelong journey. Is that a fair statement?
Indeed it is. Indeed it is.
And then the message is, with Shield of Angels, you don't have to journey alone.
Absolutely.
Thank you both very, very much for your time and your openness, and God bless the work that you're doing.
May
you.
I just add that
Yes.
if someone calls, Tara speaks Spanish. So if they call me, I will give them her phone number.
That's beautiful too. So there's a bilingual, there are no barriers.
There are no barriers, and Tara is also a chaplain.
Right.
So we're blessed with having that component as well.
Between the three of you, you have social clinical work, a chaplain, and work with drug and alcohol abuse and abused women. So any type of abuse, you're dealing with professionals in those fields who can help you sort through dual issues.
Yes.
Thank
Indeed.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
wonderful day.
Thank you.